Central African Republic (CAR) has been plagued by almost constant unrest in recent decades and remains one of the poorest countries in the world. Life expectancy is only 47. With numerous armed groups operating throughout CAR, internal displacement and refugee movements are common. The security and humanitarian situation in the CAR continues to deteriorate. The number of internally displaced persons (IDPs) has increased as the fighting has escalated. There are now an estimated 614,000 people displaced from their homes across the country, of which 189,000 are in the capital, Bangui, mainly seeking refuge at religious sites and the airport. Priority needs are for food assistance, improvement of water access, medical support and shelter assistance. CAR is also surrounded by unstable neighbors: Chad, Sudan's Darfur, South Sudan and Democratic Republic of Congo. Refugees from these neighboring countries reside in camps primarily near the border. The weakness or absence of government security, health, education and agricultural services has created a complex humanitarian emergency. A health assessment carried out by WHO and other agencies between June and August before the latest escalation of violence found pockets of severe malnutrition and low immunization. Even before the conflict, the country was one of the world's worst in terms of health. At this hospital in Bouba, patients are suffering from malaria, malnutrition and gunshot wounds. Displaced Christians take refuge at this local church. Bishop Nestor Aziagba fears the violence could turn into a full-blown civil war.
The level of degradation we have gone through on humanitarian level, on economic level, on social level, on political level. None of the aspects of the life of the Central African Republic has been spared in this crisis.
With the wave of lawlessness that followed the official disbanding of Seleka rebels in September and in the absence of security forces, the largely Christian population in villages across the north formed self-defense units called Anti-Balaka. Now the Muslim community in Bouba lives in fear of reprisal. Halima Bouba, a Muslim from Zéré, was hiding in the bush with her children for 2 months after Anti-Balaka killed her husband in front of her family.
They made my co-wife and I kneel on the ground. They took a machete and hit my husband in the face. They hit him so hard his eyes came out of their sockets. They tied a rope around his neck and attached it to a tree. Then they took a piece of wood and forced it into his mouth. All of this right in front of our eyes.
In a radio message, the UN Secretary General appealed to the people of CAR to follow the path of peace. Speaking from the UN headquarters, Ban Ki-moon called on religious and community leaders to act as messengers for peace and for transitional authorities to protect people and prevent further conflict.
And I have a clear message to all who would commit atrocities and crimes against humanity. The world is watching. You will be held to account. The United Nations is committed to helping your country recover from this crisis. You are not alone, and we will not abandon you.
A transitional government headed by Prime Minister Nicolas Tiangaye has been entrusted with restoring law and order and paving the way for democratic elections. But the country is facing a dire humanitarian situation that affects virtually the entire population of 4.6 million.